Today, one lucky adult in North Carolina won $1 million and a teen got a college scholarship. That leaves 4,689,823 vaccinated people left ripe for the picking by scammers.
This is huge organized crime business.
Professional creeps will make you think you won the lottery. Find out the red flags that you're about to get ripped off.
Don't just wave off this morning thinking you're too smart to fall for a scam. These bad guys are good at what they do. Just ask Kathy, whose father lost 75 grand.
I never would have thought my dad would be susceptible or it really shocked me.
Today, the state called the first two lucky winners of North Carolina's vaccine lottery, but at the same time, it's still ringing. Scammers probably started making calls all across our state, too.
Yeah, without fail, whenever there's a big event like this in the news, bad guys, they find a way to rip people off.
And it makes us so mad, but with 3 more drawings left, how do you know if the person calling you is legit? The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services say never respond to a call, a letter, an email, or a social media post asking you to send money to get a donation or a prize. Also, the state says they will not ask you for your credit card, social security number, driver's license, passport, or bank account numbers over the phone. If you do happen to win, you would provide some of that information in person instead at the state lottery office.
It's really no surprise that scammers would try to use the vaccine lottery to get to you. In fact, Americans lost $227 million to sweepstakes scams last year. That's up 33% from the year before. Not only should you be on the lookout, but tell your friends and family to watch out too, because these scammers, they have it down to an ugly art form. Just listen to how they swindled $75,000 from one man.
I never would have thought my dad would be susceptible or it really shocked me.
Kathy Chapman can't believe her 84-year-old dad fell victim to a sweepstakes scam. It started with calls to his home in January, she says, from someone who claimed to be from the Publishers Clearinghouse. They told him he'd won money and more, just like the people in these familiar ads. In his case, $2.5 million, a brand new BMW, and gold medallions. All he had to do was pay some taxes and fees. But after he withdrew thousands of dollars at multiple locations, his credit union alerted police, who called his daughter. And when she asked him about it,
he said, I just have to pay some taxes and fees, and then I'm going to get this big prize. And I said, no, Dad, that's not how it works.
Chapman discovered her dad had been instructed by the scammers to mail them packages of cash. In all, he lost $72,000.
I'm still really angry. He's done nothing to anybody. You know, he's worked hard his whole life and got taken advantage of.
This is huge organized crime business.
Better Business Bureau investigator Steve Baker says those scammers are professionals. His report on sweepstakes, lottery, and prize scams say those con artists often talk to victims every day, building trusting relationships, taking careful notes of the victim's family, and trying to isolate them from family and friends.
Sometimes it's through the U.S. mail, text messages, emails, social media.
Like this fraudulent email claiming to be from Publishers Clearinghouse, with photos of winners and a fake message from the board chairman. But a closer look reveals clues like typos. For example, the company pleases to advise its supposed winners of their delivery and presentation date.
If your viewers get an email, a call, any contact, a letter that says you won a prize, but you have to send money, rip up the letter, hang up the phone, and report it to law enforcement, because that's a scam.
A scam, Chapman says, took much of her father's life savings. And if you do lose money to a scam, sadly, there's not really that much law enforcement can do to help recover it. But there is a lot they can do before people get scammed if you report any suspicious phone calls. They can get warnings out to others, and in some cases, they've even been able to shut down phone lines and have scammers arrested. So if you get a strange call from someone pretending to be from the vaccine lottery, you should definitely report it to the BBB. The Federal Trade Commission and North Carolina's Attorney General also wants to know. They'll be interested in the time the call came in, the number it was from, and what they tried to say to you that raised a red flag.
It is possible that the state could email you that you won the vaccine lottery prize. And just like the phone calls, the real North Carolina official lottery email will not ask for your personal information or for money. But there's something else to watch out for. Be careful of any links that might be included in the email. It could be a way to put spyware on your computer. So before you click on that link, the Better Business Bureau says you should use copy and paste and put it into Google's Safe Browsing link check.
Scammers can be tricky, and they figured out ways to make it look like it's somebody that you know who sent you a link. But this technology that Google has created now is a great way for you to check out that URL without actually having to click on it. Copy that URL and paste it into the spot on the website, and the website will do the work for you.
Okay, another dead giveaway. It's a scam. If you know that you're not entered because you didn't get your shot, but you still get contacted. So who actually is eligible in the vaccine lottery? The answer, pretty much anyone who got that shot. If you're already vaccinated and your information is in the state's COVID vaccine management system, you're entered. Those vaccinated after June 10th are entered twice. A record of at least one dose of vaccine must be documented by a vaccine provider by last Sunday for this particular drawing. If you got your shot after then, you'll be entered in the other ones. To be eligible, you must live in North Carolina. U.S. citizenship, though, is not required. This also includes homeless people in North Carolina and people using vehicles as homes in our state. Now, you got to be at least 12 years old and have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine at a site located in the state of North Carolina that is a documented vaccine provider. Now, people who traveled to our state from other places, even other countries, to get vaccinated, they don't get to be part of this. They are not eligible.
Don't give up hope just yet. Not all winners were drawn today. Drawings will be held every other week starting on June 23rd. So that means the next drawing will be on July 7th and then July 21st. The last one will happen on August 4th. Remember, entries close at midnight on the Sunday before the drawing, but you need to make sure that the state has your correct information just in case you win. So when you got vaccinated, you probably gave your vaccine provider your phone number, maybe your email address. If you provided an email address, you should have gotten an email inviting you to register for the COVID-19 vaccine portal. If you didn't do that back then, you can search your inbox for the subject line, "Welcome to the North Carolina COVID-19 vaccine portal." The email has a link to set up your password. Your COVID-19 vaccine portal username is listed in that email. But if you did not get an email, you may need to update your contact information through your vaccine provider or even the vaccine portal help desk.
So important to do because they had my phone number wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah, you want to make it right because those two more drawings.
You have a chance.
Three more
$1
drawings.
million.
Three more
we have
drawings.
3 more, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing
Odds
you
are even
didn't get
higher.
a call today.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But I'm going to check my phone as soon as we get off the set.
That sounds good. All right, WFMY News 2 at 6 is next.